Hey team, welcome back to another episode of the Jenn Commandments podcast. I am your host, Jenn Wien. I'm an engineer currently working in Wisconsin. I grew up in the Chicagoland area and I went to college in Michigan. Today, we're going to be talking to two of my hometown friends. So one of my best friends and then their best friend also. So today we'll be talking to Jasmine Lozano and Alexx Hurst. And then we also have producers here. So you guys want to introduce yourselves?
I am Cassie. I am a friend of one of the guests on the show today.
And my name is Jamie. I am also a friend of a friend of a friend of the producer today.
So we are so happy for our producers too. Yay!
I'm going to talk about the blood relative, but that's fine.
We're just going to skip it.
So we're also dressed up because it is Alex's birthday on Monday. Yay! So super exciting. Super glad to be here in town for the weekend. We made lasagna.
We made lasagna.
Mm-hmm. Homemade lasagna. So how are y'all?
Pretty good. Honestly, we were cooking it up in the kitchen. Got to see each other early. It was nice.
I didn't even expect to jump in, but yeah, we did it.
Uh-huh.
It was teamwork.
Yep. We met in the Walmart before we game planned, and then we attacked. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an eventful morning so far.
Mm-hmm.
Eventful day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Especially bumping into one another at Walmart before it all happened.
Uh-huh. Thunderstorming as well. So rain, sleet, and snow. We're here. So how did y'all meet?
Well, I guess we went to middle school and high school together, but I didn't become friends with his friend group until maybe junior year.
Yeah,
maybe?
We weren't friends. We were we knew of each other, but we just weren't in that clique with one another yet.
Yeah.
We just didn't reach that point yet. So once it hit high school, it just kind of, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I wasn't supposed to hang out with y'all, and one day I was just there because I was like, let me hang out over somebody else's FaceTime call to somebody else. And I went, let's hang.
Yeah.
And then we were kind of hanging out at my house because, it's a larger house. People can be there. There's a lot of people already.
Yeah,
and
definitely more access over
so we just started hanging out over there in Burger King, and then there it was from then. We just hung out every single time because I had the hangout spot.
So how do you think, being friends since high school, have you seen each other evolve? How have you experienced that with one another, I guess? Does that make sense?
Throughout
have you seen each other
teens
different
to being adults?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I definitely would say you see quite a difference. I mean, pretty much growing up with one another, yeah, you see a difference, and you go through a lot of those things with one another, depending on if you're one of those friends where it's just you're out of touch for a couple months, or you're texting nonstop to one another, which we're gaming with one another, we're texting, we're sending videos, we're FaceTiming. So that connection never really stopped with us.
We had a little daily check-in, even if it's just a meme, we're in touch.
We got a daily check-in. So, okay, I'm going to start with my questions with Alexx, and we'll move into Jasmine. You'll be here as a supporting role for now. We'll switch up.
Excellent, my crown.
Don't ever let your crown fall, queen.
Can we do a quick look into the camera with your glasses?
Oh.
So, make your eyes pop.
Thank you. So, okay, how I remember meeting you was I moved into Dekker starting my second grade year. And so I met you there. However, I do distinctly remember bullying you in middle school. Do you remember that? We were talking about bullying earlier.
Yes.
So I was like, it's funny that you mentioned that because I knew that I was going to come into the conversation talking about it. I should have prepped you before. I'm going to tell you about this thing that I still feel guilty about.
The thing is, the friend group that I had in middle school was just a group of boys that bullied me. I was the joke.
Yeah.
So
you were never the bully.
Yeah, no, I was the bully, the one that was getting bullied in the friend group just to be in the popular clique.
Yeah.
I was in that clique, but yeah, a lot of that stuff, I don't know, I don't really remember because it doesn't really matter. We were kids.
I know.
And
it's just like it's one of those like I've been a bitch to many people, but like it's something that I remember that I'm like I always thinking back to the times where like you two were close and I was like on the fringe of talking to you sort of.
Mm-hmm.
I was always like even if he does remember that, it's so cool that like he forgave or like is willing to look past it enough to like still be cool with me. You know what I mean?
This here first, the Jenn Commandments has a homophobic host. Clock that.
Will you clock me?
Yeah.
My God. Thank you that I'm clocking myself.
Well,
I'm standing on this
And
thing.
here we are.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But just so you know,
Wow.
like I've always been like, aw, how kind. Thank you. For like looking past. You really don't remember.
You've been nothing but nice to you.
No, correct. Yeah, thank you. Love you.
For real, babe. Hold
Let's
on.
get the Wayback
Yep,
Machine
yep.
going.
I'm getting on Facebook right now. Hold on, y'all.
You've been a fan of celebrities and like you've been a fanboy our whole lives.
Yeah.
I've also been a fanboy my whole life. What do you think that is for you? Because for me, I think it was like escapism. Like, oh, I wish my life was cool like that. So, like for you, what does fandom mean to you?
In a way, yeah. But as a kid, like I thought I was gonna be famous. So like one day, like in my 20s or something like that, which I'm obviously not now, I'm 26. But
You're still fine.
I thought like by that time I would be that famous. So I was like, ooh, I gotta know about this. I gotta know about that. I gotta know so and so's birthday. So if I get invited to a party, like I was thinking
I love
like that stuff as a
Studying.
kid.
Yeah.
So I thought it was gonna happen, like my dreams were gonna come true or something like that. So yeah, I would like be fact checking myself.
Oh.
So I would have to know like directors of movies and how they would shoot movies. So I was like obsessed with. I was a real cinephile.
Yeah.
So I wanted to know
That
how.
sounds like slur.
Dawson's Creek type shit.
It does, but it's I don't know. It's just a love, a passion, and something I had a lot of interest in growing up.
Mhm. What's your fave right now?
Movie?
Like
Anything?
collector thing?
Like collecting or
You've been big into
Like
Big Time
the
Rush
geek
lately,
out
right?
Yeah, I'm
That's
a
one of
big
your-
Big Time Rush fan. I have
Oh.
been since like I was like a little kid. Like when they started, when the show first came out, I remember seeing the premiere. I was obsessed. Yeah,
As you should be.
fanboy.
Yeah.
Big time fanboy.
Did movies? Yeah, there right now.
I just saw Sinners finally.
Oh,
Finally.
I saw
I
it.
was
watch that. I
waiting
gotta watch
because
that.
it's hard as a parent
I know.
going to the theater, especially with a newborn.
Yeah, dude.
Because I
We'll
feel
talk
bad.
about
I feel bad having like a nanny, which I don't like have an actual nanny, but we'll get to that.
Mhm.
But yeah, we've just been waiting until things are streaming and watching it that way. Sinners was so good.
Yeah,
So
I really enjoyed
good.
it.
I'm gonna watch it again. I kind of had to talk Haven into watching it. My
Yeah.
fiance.
I just found out it's about vampires or something.
She
Vampires,
just
like-
found that
Yeah,
out
I
too.
thought
Yeah.
She
it was
thought,
not about vampires.
yeah,
No.
she thought
I
from the
heart
trailer,
vampires.
it was completely different. She didn't. Once she saw that,
they didn't market it that way.
yeah,
I don't. They market it as like
I
a Michael
loved
B.
it.
Jordan movie.
And that's all I seen it as. At
Yeah.
first I was like, Michael B. Jordan is in that movie called Sinners.
Michael B. Jordan's so good.
Love him, Dad. Okay, you seen anything good lately?
Yeah, I haven't gone out to the movies really at all.
Theater got that $6 deal.
Man, and there's one like right down the street. I
Just so
think
you know,
that's
I
the
wanna
name
go
of the
back
movie.
to
I don't really
Marcus.
go.
But I missed the Marcus from South Chicago Heights.
Yeah.
The original before.
okay.
Back when they had that
When they
floor
had the
that you can
arcade
touch.
room.
The first time I was like ever allowed to go out was to like Marcus and like by myself without a parent. Oh, and then also the Creek Family Fun Center. That was like that was my first date ever. Like, ugh, so cute.
I got my first SpongeBob paint. It wasn't even a painting. I got a little frame that I hung up in my room. That was my first decoration. It was a SpongeBob portrait.
Love,
Local.
love SpongeBob. Tell me about your time growing up. We all have sort of similar. We all grew up in the same town, so they can't vary too much. But it does vary a lot. So I think there were times like you, at least from my perspective, I was like, oh, Alex might be going through something right now.
Yeah.
I always was.
Yeah. How do you?
He's a Cancer. He's got to feel his feelings.
And as you should.
And that's fine.
So, what do you think you gained from your childhood? like from those experiences. I think it's
I think when you have to, like a question like that, you have to look at like your parents' love story, and then you go from there.
Mhm.
And like my parents, like, growing up, were kind of. My dad was always going to work. He was shift work, working 12, 16-hour shifts and working swing shifts. So we used to have to tiptoe around the house, which was a tiny house. And so my mom was a stay-at-home mom. My dad made enough money so he could do that for our family and made those sacrifices. He had to miss some things. He was there for a lot of things, but he had to miss some things due to work and paying the bills, making sure all of our bills were paid. We were like middle class. So we didn't have problems financially growing up, but our parents were kind of like, me and my sister both knew they were going to stay together until we were out of high school.
Yeah.
And then call it quits. It was just a matter of when.
Yeah.
And it happened. So that was just kind of how we grew up. Like, our parents weren't like affectionate with one another. And there was a lot of fights.
Sure.
And I had to go through a lot of therapy and like talk about that stuff.
Cool.
I mean, therapy's great.
Yeah.
It helps. It really does help. But you have to dig into the past to find like those flaws and like identify with them, I guess.
Yeah.
In a
Understand
way.
that they're you.
Yeah. And it just got to be like, oh, that's not normal. Like that's not how things have to be. You don't have to be like your parent. So there was a lot of that with me and my sister growing up. We just saw some things we shouldn't have saw. We thought it was normal, not abuse-wise,
But as a
but
kid,
as
you
a,
don't
as
know
a
no
kid,
better.
yeah, you don't know better. Me and Jasmine have talked about this plenty of times.
You're like,
Our
oh wait,
family-
this isn't normal.
We're like,
I
oh,
didn't
this isn't normal. But you don't find out until you're like actually in society.
You're an adult.
Yeah, you're an
And
adult.
you see,
and
like,
you're like, oh,
other
your parents
people.
are like this?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Mine were
Different.
yeah. Not trying to shit talk my parents.
No, but like there's a lot of
But-
good that comes from that
Yeah.
too. You're good at adapting now. You're good at like
And also, over time, parents change too. Like sometimes they're like not cool at all, and then they end up being your friend.
yeah,
They make their switches.
yeah. Which I think I am trying to be more open to.
Yeah, growing up, I was always going through some shit, and I was one of those kids that always wanted to post it all on social media
Me too,
all the
girl.
time.
The kick
Where
picture is
else?
black.
Yeah.
The period as the name. Yeah. How did you said you went through therapy? When did you start that? Was that
It's had me in it when I was like beginning of high school.
pretty cool?
So I would say freshman to junior year, but it was like more they forced me. I didn't want to do anything with it. I didn't try to adapt with it. So I got nothing out of it.
Yeah.
Once I was an adult, and then I had to eventually, because I was being naughty, I had
Not
court
naughty.
order. I had a court order to go to therapy.
Oh,
And
okay.
then, but outside of
That's a good
the
call.
court order, I kept going to the
Yeah.
same one, and I was like, I just don't know like when to stop or when to stop. She's like, you could just like take a break and come back like whenever you want, like
Yeah.
in 2 months or something like that. And I was like, oh, so I don't have to just keep coming back at
Forever.
the same
Don't have shit to
time
talk
for
about.
the past 3 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do I do?
Right. What lessons did you take, and like how do you put that into being a parent now? Because like a lot of like for me, a lot of my fear around being a parent is learning like how do I not replicate those things because they are so ingrained. It's hard for me.
Outcome that you would have wanted as a kid, not trying to like force an outcome, but you go about it that way. Like, oh, you want to play it this way? Okay, let's go about it that way. You want to play make-believe that way? Because in my house, we encourage make-believe instead of like
Reality.
screen time,
Yeah.
if you want to call it that. But I feel like it's just like sucking kids in now.
Yeah.
So, like, I play Barbies with my daughter. Like, for Christmas, we got her like a 360 dollhouse, like one of the wood ones, like every room is open.
Love.
So we play Barbies. We we have all of our different outfits. They got their wardrobes. I know about Chelsea. I know about
Nice.
love it. So there's a lot of make believe in our house, and then we got the baby, and you just gotta give her all the love.
Yeah, you're a new parent or second time new parent. How we've talked a little bit about that. How is it going? I know each child is different. So and Haven is a first time mom. So how have you taken, like, this is like off script, but like how have you taken your experience with your first child and like helped guide her? How is that transition?
I wouldn't want to say
Because he's a dad through and through.
Because I'm also like, stay out of women's business, sort of, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say guide, because there's some things like they have to obviously go through on their own, just like a lot of women have to for a lot of things.
Yeah.
So I tried to be there for everything, but I just had to be there to ask and be like, what do you need me to do?
Right.
I would tell her things that I would remember from the first pregnancy with my ex, just things that I would remember. But besides that, like, it's just kind of, hey, what do you
Gotta adapt.
Yeah. What do you need? You want to go grocery shopping? Do you want, you want alone time?
You said you want me to fuck off?
You want me to do something for you? And it was a good pregnancy though, and she did everything all natural, completely natural. Very proud of her.
Yeah.
She was only in labor for like 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness!
Really?
Active
I was gonna
labor
say, I
for
hear it
20
a lot of
minutes.
times it's like hours.
Yeah, that's so cool.
So,
Or it could be days.
Yeah.
Like, it's bad.
They said, we're pretty sure you guys are about to start pushing. And we're like, oh, okay. So I had to start calling all the parents.
Right.
And then all of them are coming up to the hospital. So it was fun.
Yeah.
Cried.
Of
Always
course.
Hey, you are such a good dad.
cried. I tried. It's not hard. It's
You
not.
gotta be there.
You
gotta
just
show
have to
up.
be there. You have to be there.
Yeah. It seems hard, for sure. So the next question I have on here is, your first, if I'm not mistaken, your first long-term relationship was an age gap relationship.
Yeah.
So now that you look back on that experience, what do you think you learned first off? How do you feel about all that? Do you have any feelings about it, especially with how do you feel about all that?
Yeah, because I was in an age gap where the female was older than me.
And usually you don't
And,
see that.
Yeah, you don't really see that often. I was like literally fresh out of high school. This was my high school, at the end of high school girl, and she was 25 or 26 at the time.
Sure.
And I was just turned 18. As soon as I graduated, like the night of, I moved out in with her.
I remember that.
There was just a lot of, I want to say, being an age gap relationship, it's more, not to say that this, with the age gap, getting out of high school, there was a lot of financially crippling. Because there's, oh, well, I need money for this, and that, and then I'm leaving you with that.
Well, yeah, and as a man, like, if you're trying to perform like the nuclear family, you're supposed to be the provider. There's no way for you to be a provider.
And I was going into a pre-made family at 18. So I had to make it work as soon as I got out of high school. So I just had no time to find myself.
Sure.
To try different things. I thought I wanted one thing. Not to say I didn't want this at that time. At that time, that's what I wanted.
But it definitely did further you in the whole being an adult thing transition from teenager to adult.
Yeah.
Because you kind of grew up faster than pretty much everybody else, right out of like high school.
Absolutely. And I was with said person for 4 years. Sure. And we had my daughter towards the end of it, the last year of it, and
so there's never going to be any regrets.
There's never going to be regrets when it comes to that. Now you're kind of locked in with that person for 18 years at least, legally. Yeah. So you got to do what you got to do. You get through it.
And you got like
you find a way to make it work.
Net positive, of course.
Yeah.
Do you think that did you ever feel like you guys were, looking back now, do you think you were ever equals Or do you think that there was always a power dynamic there? I don't mean to like harp into it,
I
but like,
believe that
like outside looking
there always is a power dynamic.
Sure.
Because I got to see it firsthand growing up with my parents.
Yeah.
Because my mom, she had me at 16. My dad was already 24 or 25.
Sure.
I don't know, because I saw that age dynamic.
Yeah.
And that worked. And then
and it does work for some
my
people.
mom never worked.
Yeah.
The whole time. So she didn't know anything about bills. My dad didn't want her in his financials. Us growing up, he didn't want to teach us about financials because we were kids, which I respect. We're kids.
Yeah.
We didn't have to know about that stuff. He's like, if you choose to go to college, then we'll have that talk and stuff. But until then, you're in school. You do what you got to do. You pay me your car insurance,
Right.
even in high school. So that's how it was. And I got with somebody that was like that.
Yeah.
So that did the exact same thing to me. So then I had to go out on my own after that and figure it all out. Figure out how to pay bills. I was like, and I was only 21. I was 22.
Yeah. You
And
seem
I was
like,
I did it that way.
Mhm.
I chose to move out of town and do it that way. And I'm so glad I got a Steger. I did not want to be a Steger Billy the rest
One
of my
thing about
life.
Alexx, he gonna make it work.
and he had, yeah.
I'll make
yeah.
it work. I'll make it work every single time. I don't know what to tell you.
And I really think it's hard to get out. Like, it is so, like, because there's a million people I love there, you know, so like, it is hard to leave. It's better for you though at the end. Not always, but like, you do a lot of growth and you figure out who you are outside of your surroundings.
I needed a fresh start in a timely manner time from my daughter. And I was like, okay, let's see what's out there. Let's do some things. I met some people. I ended up out in Bradley and Kankakee. Like, I've stayed out there the past like 2-3 years now, and it's been fun.
And now you have Michigander wife.
I have a fiance,
And everything worked out,
Yeah.
you know, like you took that time, you yourself,
I
and
moved
now
somewhere new, and I brought someone from somewhere else to me.
yeah, it worked. So my last question for you for now is, tell me about your growth over the last 3 years. We talked about that a little bit. What in particular have you been working on, and how have you carried it into parenthood and your new engagement? We talked about engagement a little bit too. But yeah, what you been working on?
Well, personal growth wise,
It's hard as a parent too.
I have been focusing this second time round more on like the father figure. Like, I was like, okay, I did it the first time round, and then the second time round I was like, okay, now we're like locked into dad mode, like for sure. I was like, and I'm 2-time girl dad, so I definitely have to lock into that. So, like I said, the Barbies, it's not uncommon in that house. The tea parties, it's not uncommon.
It's Miss Nesbitt.
They love calling me Miss Nesbitt. They hate to see me coming.
Oh, period.
But yeah, the working on the wedding, that's the biggest goal right now. Next year for the wedding, and it's going to be a Michigan wedding. Move out to Michigan.
We love Michigan.
After Michigan, into Michigan, because she's a Michigander, and we're trying to move in that middle point.
Yep.
And keep it there for like family, so it's 2 hours one way,
That
2
way
hours
it's
the other
fair.
way. Yeah, it's fair, and it's a lot easier to visit.
Yeah.
Way easier to visit.
And it's a beautiful place for people to come visit too. Like, I love Michigan. Love.
Can't
So
get
excited for
enough.
y'all. So excited. Okay. Okay. Do you have anything else you want to say for the class? Anything you want to say? Get off your chest before moving to Jasmine?
18.
Yeah.
That's all.
So cute. Okay, now for Jasmine, I met you. You were adjacent to one of my best friends. So, like, you were also
I feel like we have a complicated history.
We do sort of have a complicated
Not that I was
history.
bullied by her or anything.
No.
Quite the opposite.
Yeah. I
know.
I can cut that out. We don't have to, like...
I really didn't know though.
Okay, look,
We didn't know
I've
either.
been thinking about it literally since we start. Like,
I'm glad. I'm glad we're looping it back because I've been thinking about it the rest of the time, and I was like, you know what? I really do want to address it because it makes so much more sense, like why you kind of like avoided me.
Yeah, because I feel
growing
fucking
up,
terrible. Because I'm a fucking cunt.
We were like in some of the same cliques, like at certain points, and I was like, yeah, she just never like.
Yeah, because I'm a
I was
bitch,
like, I don't
bro.
know what it is. I was like, maybe she just doesn't like me. I didn't know it was because you bullied me.
Yeah,
It's 'cause
meanwhile, we didn't know it was because you were just like guilty.
Really
or
had no
mean.
idea.
I'm like, if I've ever been mean to you, I promise I think about it like at least once a year.
Well, you don't have to because
Okay.
I don't because I also didn't see the post. Once
Okay.
again,
Okay.
Hands are clean. Hands are clean.
Try it again.
But he has
Drop
been
it.
thinking about it the entire
Mhm.
podcast since he said it.
You're like,
Podcast now,
unfortunately, we did find the post.
Unfortunately, we do have to clock that T. And he is going back.
We're gonna have to insert a screenshot.
So, okay, I met you. Okay, I knew of you my senior year because we both had the responsibility of if our friend wasn't in school,
Oh yes.
of calling him to being like, "Hey,
because
are you gonna come to school?"
that was crazy.
It was crazy, but I remember.
Well, we mutually cared, and we could tell that we mutually cared for a person that we both liked.
Yeah.
Or like clearly wanted them
Better
to
for
do good in school at least, and move forward from that doing good.
And like I remember there were times where I would message you and be like, "Hey, did you call him this morning?"
Strike that.
and then after I graduated high school, you were added to a group chat, a mutual group
That was
chat of
after
mine.
you left. I was confused. I was like, I know these people. I don't know these people.
Yeah.
Can you get into it?
So our friend added you to like my friend group's big group chat. Like we had a big summer group chat where we would all just like hang out. And then immediately, the man that I had been in love with for like 8 years at this point, mind you, she messages me individually and she's like, "I don't really like that man."
I didn't get it. I was like, what's up?
And she was like, "What do you see in
What's the
him?"
fascination?
And I literally, that was the beginning of like my moving on. Like
And then-
I swear
yeah.
to God.
And then we started to develop like an individual
Shit. And like the first time we ever really hung out one-on-one, after work at Sarlingo's once, we went to the beach up by Loyola. That was like the first time I remember hanging out with you.
Was that after? Was that
This was
post breakup?
This was post friend group breakup.
Post friend group breakup.
Because like
Personally, my opinion, IMO. I think my first experience hanging out with you was post breakup. You
post
shot a
high school
message.
sweetheart
You
breakup.
shot a message into that group chat, that very group chat we're shit talking. We're not shit talking to other people.
I immediately took my ex-boyfriend out of the group chat because it sucks. Because like I was such a gal who like integrated my friends with.
And it also
partner.
adds to
So
like
you
when
just
you
immediately
live with
moved it
people.
up.
Yeah, I was like,
that hurts.
He was
It does hurt.
still packing his stuff
Like,
in
he
my
was there.
house
And
that
then-
hurts.
as my friends
And-
pulled
and,
up.
like,
It was such a mean
that's
move,
why-
honestly. I've apologized to him since. We're cool now, he and I. He's like the only good example of like romantic love I've ever had. So shout out him. But
But it is hard because like y'all did like and
Yeah.
whatever, so that is like a difference in like how that ended. But anyway, so you reached out,
yeah,
and I remember I was mid laundry. Most of the time, I was ignoring the messages from this group chat,
true.
and then I see messages being like, "Hey, just broke up.
Wants to come
Feeling
to
kinda sad,
Wisconsin."
trying to visit my mom." Then nobody. I read it and I went, "Oh," and nobody. I didn't see any messages after that, and I went, "These bitches are supposed to be friends." So then I was like, okay. I messaged and I was like, "I'll come." And then all of a sudden, I'll come. I'm like, that's fine.
That's
I
the
guess I'll.
popular one.
and
Mind you weren't even a member of the friend group at that point.
I was only friends with one person from that
Yeah.
friend group. Everybody else was friends with each other, and I was just like an unbeknownst person that they heard the name of once or twice.
She stole my friend group.
Jasmine's the star always. I try to tell everyone.
Like I said, haters hate to see me.
True.
They hate to see me because I'm always having a good time.
No, literally, after my Halloween party, people will still be like, "How's Jasmine doing?"
Yeah,
so
no, my
cute.
ears be ringing all the time.
Mm.
I say, "Come with her." I know nothing much.
I shortly started my second year of college. We were inseparable for like 2 years.
Yeah, but as far as that, I thought once we hung out at that beach moment, I was like, this is really nice because we got to hang out. I actually met you guys as people. I wasn't
on the internet.
anxious to meet. Yeah, because at first I was like super anxious to meet everybody because I'm like, I'm meeting a bunch of people at the same time indirectly from online, and online at the time wasn't always the nicest place.
No.
So I was like, well, who knows?
That's
but it
You
turned out
get bullied on there.
Yeah.
Then you don't even get to see it.
Yeah, you get that down there. Yeah, it gets
Serial
I'm pretty
bully
sure
over
my
here.
mom was like, "Take that shit down." She's like, "You're not being fucking mean on the internet."
I'm taking Sims away. Yeah.
I was like, how's Jen? Oh, bullying you on the internet.
So you're
On the
crying.
interweb.
Oh.
But yeah, I thought that was real. As far as like meeting a friend or whatever, I thought that was like our first like official meeting where I was like, all right, we're like really rocking here. I thought it was really sweet. I felt very comfortable, and that was the first time I really felt like we were like, we're gonna make some type of close friendship out of this.
Yeah.
So that was pretty nice.
Yeah. I was like I was going through a lot during the time period that we were really close. And
Trauma bonding.
Yeah, we for sure. Like I was so great. You were one of the first people that I felt love from, that I now like mimic people to be like, this is what I've experienced in love, so like this is how I'll show love to other people. Like I feel like you've really taught me. I'm like, oh, this is how I would like to show love to people sometimes. Like, you know. So thank you for that. Also.
Yeah, I know my mom hated to see it too, because she would be like, "You love your friends, huh?" And I'm like, "Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes, I do."
Well, that's like if you like come from what you perceive as like a dysfunctional family, like your friends are your family. Like that is your comfortable.
Well, because like
friend,
we don't
family.
really say love you or nothing in the family. It's kind of like you heard that?
Yeah, yeah.
So it was like, in that I was like, all right, we're comfortable. We all care about each other. We're all telling each other we care about it. We're not questioning nothing. So it's like, I'm gonna choose that for now.
Yeah.
It worked out until I needed my space, but it worked out for the time being.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so the next thing I have on here, one of my favorite memories of us is going to Lollapalooza in 2019.
Yeah, that was fun.
I went one.
OP, honestly.
Yeah. Well, one, I saw
got
Hobo
hooked
Johnson.
up.
First time I ever like interfaced with Hobo Johnson in any capacity, and like he is now my favorite artist.
Mm-hmm.
We have that in common as well.
He's a good one.
Yeah. I think the group that we went with, like the girls, and then also having your brother and sister there as like an adult, because at the time we weren't like adults for real.
But
yet.
it would be like, hey, we're linking up with people that we know and they're older than us.
They're older than us. They're safe people if we ever need anything. Like we weren't even drinking age yet. Like we literally shimmied Christina's.
That is so funny. Yeah. It's you being like, I'm glad that we had some older people looking after us. It's my older sister, giving us the alcohol pass. I was really underage.
I miss her.
I'm so glad there were some adults nearby.
But they were gonna make sure we were safe.
They were good.
Yeah. Okay, so what I have is Ariana Grande based on that, which is while I was doing research, one of the pictures I saw was the iconic photo of you two with the poster.
Me, you, and the
Posing?
poster.
Yeah.
I got that poster from Kmart in town, RIP.
R.I.P.
Yeah. So when did your guys' love for Ariana Grande start?
Do you have a love for Ariana Grande? First of all, let's start off with that.
No, Ariana Grande, I feel like became a main pop star to me because this bitch over here, my roommate for most of the years of my life, would always be playing Ariana Grande, and then would always put on interviews of Ariana Grande. What was on Sam and Cat? Why is that on the TV? Who left Nickelodeon running in the living room?
When I like something, I want to watch interviews. I want to watch the behind the scenes. I want to watch all the YouTube
like
videos.
really Sam and Cat, victorious. I get, but it was a hardcore stan phase that I witnessed, and I'm glad. I'm glad you had your little dabble in stan culture.
It was like the the one artist that I was ever like, I'm a fan of them. For
Yeah.
a long time.
Yeah, well, I remember the one tiff we had at Lollapalooza was I was like, we need to catch the fucking train.
And it happened
it was
at
in
the
the
exact time that her performance
It was like mid
on.
Ariana set.
We seen most of it. We did make the train.
Yeah, and we did make the train, but y'all were pissed. I was like, we have to go.
We had a great time. I was vibing the whole way back to the exit because I'm like, ooh, these speakers are good. They're reaching all the way over here.
True. Okay. Do you have a favorite era? Ariana, last Ariana question.
I think I remember we talked about it a little bit because you, to your knowledge, you're like, she's a sweetener bitch.
Well, yeah, that's the first album you told me about. Sorry.
You were late into my life.
And you're right.
Don't forget, you bullied my friend.
And you're right. That's true.
So
It's okay, I didn't see it.
it's okay, you didn't see it.
Mm-hmm.
Blind lead the blind.
And you didn't see my Ariana obsession.
Sure.
So it started early, I'll say. I remember I really got into her around the time that, you remember that popular parody, it wasn't a parody, it was a cover that she did at first. It was on YouTube, it was blowing up on YouTube.
It was just me watching it.
That was the very first, on her very first album. So I remember that and the Way music video with Mac Miller, and I remember those being on YouTube, and I was a big fan of that. So I was like, listen to the album, bangers, nothing but bangers on that album. And then I was very hooked on My Everything and Dangerous Woman. Those were my two. Those two hand in hand. I Know Everything. Those are like the back of my hand. I have the most amount of saves from them. After that, I kind of, because I was, like you were saying before, I wasn't as heartbroken, so I stopped listening to her.
Right.
But I felt like at first it drove through it. I was like, I like her. She's like a lover girl. And then I was like, now I'm a lover girl. And then I was like, now I'm not.
I know.
I
So
need
you don't
to
do
heal.
it. My favorite right now is Positions, so I'm still Positions.
Through. Yeah, I for sure probably fell off around that time. Like I would say that's one of my least listened to albums, but that's just because I've been listening to other stuff.
I know.
And then I'm like stuck on listening to only those things.
I feel that.
She's back in
like
rotation though. She just started back.
I do like I'll listen to like 30 songs at a time, and they're like loops, basically.
Yeah, the same 30 in rotation.
Ooh, how do you guys feel she did as Glinda in Wicked?
That's my girl.
I was gonna say, how do y'all feel about that?
I mean, I'm fine with it. She did Broadway for her life. I know there's some other people that obviously wanted to be in the. I'm just saying because you're shaking your head. Clock it when you see it.
I was not even gonna talk shit. I said I think she did pretty good because I have to listen to it nonstop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
My oldest is into it.
Of course.
She's obsessed with Wicked, so it's not a bad thing to be obsessed with.
Oh,
I know
There
Mama
may be
Mia
worse
was
things,
mad.
but yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, I have to listen to it all the time, and honestly, I don't mind it. They both did good.
They sang their hearts out.
They did.
Yeah, proud of them. So you worked in healthcare during COVID. You want to talk about that?
Yes, I did. We talked about an essential worker during that time, and I was wiping ass and getting cash. That was my certified position.
That's true. That's true. Like, that's how I met. Jasmine is a CN. That's how I remember.
In Cassie's mind, I was a nurse. She was like,
Yeah.
my sister's a nurse. I was like,
Yeah.
I did not go to school for that.
I say, you see those scrubs? Yeah, we could be out past curfew on the streets.
How was.
Job that I had after high school,
Mhm.
like technically. You know, as a child coming into
You
the
were a child
workforce,
still,
taking
yeah.
care of old people
Elderly.
and people that need assistance. It's very overwhelming, and they don't really tell you much, especially because like every single place is short staffed.
Yes.
So you go there and you're like on your own, and you're like, I don't even know how to get these people to do nothing. It's my first time like working really with people outside of like, you know, you get clinicals, but they give you like easy things, and then you work there and you're like, you're dealing with all types of stuff that you never even really knew how to address to begin with. So it's a lot of asking for help, getting help with stuff like that. But at first it was a lot of getting used to all the people. So then that made it easier once COVID came. I already kind of knew everybody's routine. So like I worked mornings, I worked evenings, I worked nights, and it was like for garbage pay. It was for like $12 or something. I'm taking care of people's like grandparents.
Yeah. Like, I remember you worked nonstop, and like,
They loved asking me to stay for a 14-hour shift, and then they would offer to give us bonuses and gift cards, and then they would never give us the gift cards.
I'm not scamming.
I'm like, man, this is child labor.
Yeah.
It's me, freshly 18. I'm a child labor.
What do you wish more people knew about working in a retirement home and the people in them?
Visit your people.
Yeah.
They need some friends to hang out with. Like, especially during COVID times, you really noticed that how much they depended on people coming there, because like they would be either so upset or they'd see people out their windows, or they would, as soon as they stopped getting visitors, they would just like deteriorate or die just because like the lack of like having a close connection. Because being short staffed, like, yes, we spend the most amount of time with them, but we also get like 30-something people, and they all need things at maybe the same exact time, and you can only do so much. So you're not exactly like hanging out with them. You're just making sure they're clean, they're fed, their room's all taken care of, everything like that. But I don't know. I feel like COVID times, especially when I was around that time period, I had the hallway where it was all like Hoyer lift people that needed machines to get up. They were like people that had strokes. They were people that were therapy or fresh admits from the hotel, the hospital. And whenever we got the hospital people, that's when we started getting a bunch of COVID patients. So then that slowly spread throughout. We had to divide it, and they said, she's here all the time. So I had the COVID hall. So yeah, and then that got broken down. Yeah, that we had like the gowns, we had the goggles, we had the face shields, we had gloves, we had all types of stuff. We had to like boot up. But it wasn't. I feel like we slowly developed some type of routine to fix everybody's like loneliness. At least I feel like we had good activities that were spread out and whatnot. But for the time that we had and the conditions that we had, as far as like being short staffed, we made it work. It's just things. You try not to have things slip through the cracks, but unfortunately, sometimes it's just like you can only do so much. It's like a bad situation.
Mm-hmm. And you were underpaid, but I remember you were still like getting stuff for your patients, and like you had like your babies, you know?
Oh yeah, I had my babies.
Mm-hmm. It would be hard not to. Like I imagine that's like a very emotionally taxing job. Is that why you shifted? Did you shift for pay? Like how
I
did
didn't
that
really
shift?
leave because of money. I left because I was like, my body is exhausted.
Yeah.
And I was getting to the point where I don't usually cry at jobs, but I was crying at that job when I had breaks. And it wasn't even like I was super upset about something. It was like a pileup of working there for so long and just being like, y'all fucking suck. Not like the people, but like, again, I'm like, visit your family, but the families be the problems half the time.
True.
But like, visit your families, but like, respect other people's time, help them out. They're on the clock, but like, still, they're doing stuff. They're busy, and like, it's not gonna make it easier if they're doing something and you're like upset about something that's not being done that ain't their problem.
Right. See. Okay, so another thing that we've always bonded over was protesting and like speaking up for people when we feel like they've been wronged, despite the fact that I bullied you, right?
Is it bullying if I didn't even know about it?
Okay, well,
is it though? Is it?
In my head, I was doing Hail Marys, okay? Yeah, I have that Christian guilt.
Have her start going to church again.
Where do you think that comes from?
Well, back in the day when I was on Facebook a lot, now that everybody, you're woke this, liberal that. Now, back in the day, when people got mad at anything I had to say, they would call you a social justice warrior.
True.
SJW. They used to be like, oh, it's all these women being social justice warriors, little keyboard warriors or whatever. And I'm like, man, y'all just mad that we're like, it was usually stemmed from me just as a child, just looking at things online and being like, but where's your common sense?
Right.
Like, just look at it outside looking in and be like, you clearly can find the problem and it's clearly you. Like, figure it out. And people hated to see it. And at the time, at least I feel like everything stemmed from, if I didn't really get vocal online on Facebook and as like a teen, I probably wouldn't have been as invested in anything or like at least vocally invested with things like moving forward, just because without that I was researching more things, so I knew all my little facts, and I had everything in that sense, and I was very like speaking up for everybody. Go ahead, do what you did. Was a big inspiration in the sense of me just like speaking up for people that not that they asked, but to be spoken up for. I felt like she was a real inspiration in the sense of me just like knowing that I can say something. And people hated it. They hate that you are so young and you have that opinion. They hate that you have that opinion in general. Yeah. Also, you're a woman and you have that opinion. All types of things. I feel like there's all types of categories that people have some. You can do most things right, but they'll find something wrong about what they don't like about what you're doing. But from that, it stemmed into anytime I kind of backed out of it just because, I didn't want to have to devote most of my time arguing and responding to messages.
It's actually a nightmare. Yeah.
Yes, it's a nightmare. And you just feel like a pit in your stomach because you're mad.
Yeah. On something on your phone. Like, it's not even like real life.
Turn it off.
Yeah, just turn that bitch off.
So I didn't say nothing about most things. Like, if I did, I would like count here and then, but I wasn't going to be like devoted like how I was before. But
it's hard.
When it came to things that I believed needed to be protested, I felt like if I seen something and it made me feel a type of way, I was going to share it. And even just sharing it, because like you can share something, you can donate things, and reach out to all the resources all you want. Like on your own, you don't have to go and physically. I've been to a couple of protests, but it's like at this point, I'm like, I like to be cozy at home. Like, I can be protesting from home. Homebody, I'm gonna donate to your stuff. I'm gonna sign all the petitions, but I want to be here.
There's plenty to do.
But like half the time, it's just like, all the people you have on Facebook. Most of it, you don't let them see a lot of posts that might be conflicting to how they might want to feel, because people's aunts and uncles love to comment on things.
They love it. That's
they
their
love to
favorite
comment
pastime.
on things. So I feel like every so often I share stuff, and it's either people shut the fuck up or they'll chime in their opinions, and then they get eaten up because my community, there's sharks for the mean people.
No, for real.
I feel like that's really nice as far as speaking up. You have like the community of people that will kind of stand up for you in that sense.
Yeah, one thing I really appreciate about the community that we've built, like, even around the south suburbs, but like the community that I've built anywhere, is like if somebody's belligerent in a comment section, at least one of our friends are going to be like, hey, that was fucking crazy what you just said, right?
Someone's gonna see it and then
be like,
potentially reach out to you and be like, look what I just seen.
Yeah.
Did you see what was going on? This was popping off.
Yeah, I promise you are getting clowned in our DMs.
You trust somebody gonna see it and they're gonna tell somebody else.
Next, I have, you worked at Amazon for a while too. Tell me about what is Bloom Trail Extended?
You're talking about the community college that is the warehouse industry. I mean, now that they offer all these like career things, I feel like people are using those to their advantage. I mean, obviously, it is really smart to do, but you get a lot of people that just go there to have a part 2 of high school.
Yeah.
It's kind of a crazy condition. You go in there and everyone's like, you get real fucking tweakers in there, especially like you work nighttime shift. You get the tweakers or the people that are like they can't sleep but they're up and their personalities. You work day shift, you get all the mothers, the grandmas, you get all like the parents that got shit to do after.
Period.
So I feel like a little bit of everything as far as working at Amazon, man. It is for real. Like it's like the college for people that don't go to college. Everybody drama, everyone's fucking each other. It's crazy. What were you gonna say?
Do you ever miss it?
Sometimes I miss it as far as like they paid you good.
Yeah.
You got paid every week. They offered you your benefits day one. It was really good as far as like anytime I was like in a rut, I'm like, I can go to Amazon.
Literally, whenever I'm like scared,
they accept everybody.
I'm like, I'll go work at Amazon, bitch. I don't care.
They don't care who you are. You're breathing. Get in here. What you doing outside?
Come on.
You got a pulse right now?
Dude.
Yeah, I mean, all warehouses kind of suck. They're all kind of the same.
Yeah. So another thing, for the non-South Suburb listeners, just like an Amazon thing that might want to get touched on is like, are the conditions as bad as everyone?
Are you talking about pee bottles or whatever?
Yeah.
No, I mean, I've never seen people personally have any problems like that. Like, they do monitor things, but it's like, again, if we talk about how it's basically like a college for people who don't go to college, it's because people be on stupid shit. People go to work and they fuck around, and then when somebody says, hey, where have you been for like 30 minutes, they get mad at you for asking. How dare you ask what I was doing when I was chilling in the break room eating? I was fucking off, and why are you mad about it?
Right. Well, like, I sort of get both sides. I'm like, fuck that company. But also,
but it's
do
like,
your job. You got other people around.
But for somebody that's trying to like take their job serious and like actually pay their bills and shit, that would annoy me too. And then, of course, 1, 5, 10 people ruin it for the whole warehouse.
I agree.
Yeah.
Warehouse conditions just suck. You do your job, you get more work. You do a lot of you get clumped in with everybody else. Anytime somebody gets in trouble for something, now it's everybody's fault, including you, even though you do your shit. But that's just because we don't want to name names about nothing. But I'm personally, I'm like, if there's a problem, nip it in the bud. Tell them that they're the problem. Fix that shit. Go ahead, question.
Oh, no, I didn't have a question. I had a statement that I only worked at Amazon for 2 weeks. It was horrible. It was the worst. It was terrible. I hated it. I couldn't last. I don't know how you did that.
I worked there for like three years or so.
The people were freaky. In my first 2 weeks, I remember I told Jasmine,
people were freaky.
It's like, there's this guy, and I don't know, he comes up to me, he talks to me, and he keeps asking me things about like relationship questions.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, and I moved sections to get away from him, and then he popped up next to me because you could see where people are like stationed at, and I hated it. And then at lunch I'd be like, oh god, I hope he doesn't sip on me. So it was just a weird, I didn't like the really people there.
There's gonna be a creepy man in a warehouse manufacturing setting no matter what.
Yeah, it was terrible.
At nighttime too, and I felt like that was extra creepy. Whenever you work nighttime, I feel like you usually get a little bit like the people that are gonna push that boundary.
Yeah, because the main people aren't, but it's night shift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, tweakers. Not that they're all tweakers, but it's the ratio's up there. Sorry, I'm hitting the mic.
No. Okay. The last question that I have is something that I admire is you have really worked relationship with your family over the last few years, and I feel like you're in a good place with both of them from my perception for the most part. How have you taught yourself to like accept the things that like you may have not liked in the past and then like been able to move forward? That's something I'm still working on. So like,
as far as like my parents, or like as far as like just the family as a whole,
both honestly. Because it's applicable for both.
I felt like at some point it was just I was beefing with my parents all the time because it was like, why you gotta speak up about stuff you don't need to speak up about? Or I felt like at the time when I was in high school, it was real. They had concerning views.
Sure.
And I was an SJW. So I felt like I was beefing with them constantly, and it caused a lot of tension in the house. So then they didn't want to talk to me, or they would just be ready to nip at whatever I was saying, or I was ready to nip at whatever they were saying. We clearly needed space. And then there's just like, there's so many people in the house, like things get tied up everywhere. And like, I didn't want to, no offense to certain family members, I just wasn't wanting to live in a house where I had to deal with beef with them, million animals that are like, and then just kids. Because I felt like it was taking up all of my free time, so then I felt like I was the working parent. And then I just moved out as soon as I could. As soon as I had the opportunity to, I moved out, had my space. I felt like I kind of, not that it's the way that you should do it, I just kind of ignored everything until I was ready to talk to them. And I felt like I got messages that seemed like, oh, you sound like you're going to value my time.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to come back and be like, oh, y'all are the same.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you just kind of got to wean in every so often when you're visiting and just kind of have a feel for things. And then that's kind of how I took track of as far as when's the appropriate time to come back. Yeah. But I feel like, not to my knowledge, because again, like I was kind of like outside looking in, I felt like they realized their own problems.
Sure. Have you ever had to like explicitly express boundaries to them or anything, or have you guys been able to sort of work it out implicitly?
Yes.
Okay.
I felt like mainly that stuff only happened when it came to like stuff with any physical altercations when it came to family.
Yeah.
I felt like stuff with my brother specifically, but I felt like stuff with him caused me to really point out specifically what I've been fed up with them. I'm like, as far as like taking sides, not hearing perspectives, I'm like, nobody takes me seriously. Y'all just hear me complaining and just think, oh, she's on another tangent or whatever. And I'm like, I felt like nobody was really taking the time to consider that what I'm saying could be like, think about how I'm telling you that I'm feeling, and like try to figure out how you can make that work from like a parental perspective or just like as an adult. And I'm clearly just trying to seek some type of mending of like a relationship.
Yeah.
So I felt like over time, that kind of healed it on its own, and they kind of needed subtle, like I can't really talk about a bunch of things, but I feel like my dad doesn't understand. Like, if you tell him a bunch of feelings, he'll just be like,
It's hard. Men are conditioned to like not have feelings. He's
I'm
like,
not
I don't
ready
know what
to
to do
talk
with that. Yeah.
I'm gonna hear you, but I'm not ready to talk about that.
Completely.
My mom's really open to like, I feel like she's really done like a 180 as far as like mine and her relationship. Like, we're like friends now.
Good,
Like,
good.
we'll be chatting it up.
Yeah, love that for y'all.
And I feel like we wouldn't have been in that position without having those other conversations, and then just having the time on top of it.
Yeah. I think time is, like right now I'm in my avoiding it all phase.
And indirectly, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Indirectly, I'm saying just ignore your problems. That's not what you're supposed to be doing, but it worked for me, girl, do it.
For some time, until I'm like in a way, like place where I can like express some things in like a cordial way instead of me being like, this
ready
is
to go.
fucking great. Yeah. I have to like calm myself down, like, and be ready to be calm, So,
I agree.
yeah. All right. My last question for y'all is like a together question. How do you think long-term friendships like these help you grow and evolve? So cute.
I think it's nice to have somebody that you can always fall back on, that you're like, okay, through and through, they're here.
They're my family member.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah.
I mean, we reach out to each other, and then, within the hour, we're hanging out.
And then, like,
I'll
by
ignore
extension,
everybody else. I'll be like, oh, Alex, I'll actually come there, like, right now.
Yeah,
If
you
you're not
gotta
around
have
me.
that one, like, reliable person that, you can have all the time that you don't get annoyed of.
Yeah.
Because we could just sit and ignore each other
Yeah.
and just be chilling.
Yeah.
Just be on our phones. Oh, have you seen this? Oh,
Right.
you did? Okay.
An hour later, like, I guess we should share a meal and perhaps chat.
Yeah, but you can also have like a deep, when shit hits the fan, you can also call them.
Oh, yeah,
it
for
can be
sure.
like all type of friendship. And then by extension, like we get to have like friend-in-laws and shit too. Like we're all, the like community part of it is really important to me. I really like appreciate and like feel good and grateful to have like extensions as well. Yeah. Do y'all have any questions?
We should have them in here for a couple minutes.
Yeah,
We
y'all
should
want to
switch
have?
seats.
Switch seats?
But y'all are the
Oh, we can
stars.
get-
It's your birthday.
Yeah.
It's your birthday
okay.
special.
Oh, I actually had
Oh, yeah,
some
you guys have
questions.
questions,
I actually had some questions.
My
Oh, ooh.
Okay.
Okay, so personally, personally, as one of the interviewers here now, I'm now switching positions.
Do you want
I
to sit
had-
here actually?
We're about to.
I love this.
Wait, here, I'll stay right here. I'll stay with the iPad.
Okay.
I'm not used to this whole setup or where to turn or how close to.
I didn't look at the camera probably
I
not
love
once.
it.
Okay. So I actually had some questions in how I viewed Alex in high school, and this is pertaining to his stardom phase.
This is what people want to know.
Yeah.
Do you ever tap into that? Maybe you should, I guess, preface this by saying, what did you used to dabble into? You both in the same profession in high school, dare I say? In the same field. Same field.
Field.
Rephrase.
With
T3?
yeah, there you go.
Why'd you have to lift up your
the entertainment industry.
Trail Theater Troupe? That's what we talking about right now.
Everything in high school is a popularity contest, and you just have to rise to it. So as long as you rise to it, you're untouchable in high school, and you had to find that out. And that's also where like me and Jasmine like kind of like started hanging out. Like
We had the
all
same
the
exact
time.
after-school activity
We
for
had almost
years.
the same schedule our last year of high school, and Jasmine and our other friend Christina were the only ones that were always holding the sets that I would have to jump off of.
Oh.
So they would create those sets, and then they would always have to hold the sets while I'm jumping off of stuff or trying to wiggle all around it. So I had to rely on them all the time. So I was hanging out with them all the time too.
But as far as
he
that
casted
goes-
leads, is what he's saying.
Yeah, I was
He
gonna
casted
say,
leads.
he
He got
got
the
every
jump off
lead.
things. He was a lead. He was no side character.
He was a
That's
fairy.
the kind of thing, and she's talking about.
How do you like hone in on that today? I think was her question. Do
I
you
guess
still lock
It's-
into that
yeah,
ever?
It's not there no more. It just
Oh,
kind of.
It's-
It goes bye-bye.
As you grow
I think
up,
I disagree.
you say goodbye.
Oh, you don't
No.
disagree?
Wait.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
I I disagree with you because I feel like the way that you talk about like how you interact and play with your like kids and you're like, you know, like we're gonna get our Barbies out, like, hey Chelsea girl, what you doing today? Like I know you be tapping into that as a girl dad and you be killing it. So it's just not to like the scale that it was before, but it's still like memorable for the people that are around you now, you know?
I'll put it this way, like that type of stuff, like yeah, it sticks with me. I'm still like a movie buff. I still know a lot of weird facts about movies. It just I have to find a way to incorporate it into my time because I do think about like going back to school for even directing or film or any of that. Or I've thought about even doing my own podcast, and me and Jasmine have talked about that too. Doing our own thing, seeing where that takes us. But there's always the thought, I like spending family time and
That's
then
good.
my own time, having my own time, and myself accountable for not like jumping into stuff like that. I just have to feel when I'm comfortable. And that's what happens when you find out like about anxiety and depression and all that, and you just have to like, you gotta appreciate everything around you, and that's kind of like how I went about it after high school. I mean, at high school, it was great. I could have went to college to do it right after, but I knew I wasn't going to take college serious by any means, and I was going to waste a lot of money, and it was going to be my parents' money, and I was going to have to pay it back anyway. So.
I took my stardom for T3 to work when I started, using drills at home.
Yeah.
Yep, those stage designs had nothing on me at home. After that, it was a lesson that I carried with me for life. Sturdy.
You and Dad
for
were out
sure.
there making chairs for the sets for everything.
Yeah.
And then they'd haul it back. And I was like, Dad's on the
I was
production
using
team
T3
now.
for life skills.
Um,
It worked out very well.
Phrased correctly. But I was, so you're on your second kid. And with that, I was saying, in similar taste, like in the way that we view things as kids and parents, like how you were kind of touching on earlier, would you say you kind of more so understand, because we, as the children, that kind of shift of seeing your parents and like your siblings having different experiences of your parents, seeing them in different phases? Because earlier you mentioned switching over to like, you have different types of focuses you have now raising your second kid, and so you have obviously learned a lot from your first go around, raising a kid, and you take those things and kind of see how it's like your kids are getting two different versions of you or different points of your life, I guess.
Yeah, well, the way that in my situation, it's because when I had my first daughter, I just turned 21. So a lot of things were brand new to me, and then all the weed being legal, so there was a lot of changes. But overall, I don't feel like it's different experiences. It's just a maturity level. I will say a lot of things I did around my first one when she was younger, maturity-wise, I would look back on and be very disappointed. But now I am where I am and pretty happy with it.
Each
And
year
where
just
I am.
looking at it through a different lens.
So,
You just mature.
I'm sorry, you guys all when you guys all stare at me. I'm crazy. I'm serious, and then all of a sudden I see glasses look over at me, and then I'm like,
cut out a little. Jasmine, also, it's okay.
I was enjoying my time over here. Here, I got you. I'll work something up.
As a older sibling, see, I'm the youngest, so I've never had to experience being the older sibling to anything. The closest thing I have is Junior. And earlier, when you were touching on like why you moved out and everything, that's what I've been telling everybody around me is the same thing. Where I'm like, I feel like I'm like
It's family pressure.
taking care of like the house in some ways. Where I'm like,
the fill-in mom.
yeah, and I'm like,
And you know that better than anybody, because anytime I'm coming over, you're like, but you can make the food too for us. Every time I would come over, they're like, what are we eating for dinner?
Like, I don't know, figure it out.
So like,
Yeah.
Earlier, I thought you guys were just friends.
oh.
About that.
That's confidential information.
Now you guys are relatives. Huh?
If you check the NDA you signed when you walked in, you would have seen that's confidential. We'll talk about that on pod.
They're like very
Verbal.
That's my bestie. Yeah.
But yeah, it was just I felt like a lot of pressure from the family as far as taking care of things. I felt like slowly over time I was given more tasks, or like more tasks were expected of me.
Yeah. And definitely like we were a part of the crowd where we couldn't spend the night at people's houses, like growing up. So I always felt like the boys in our family had more freedom because they were able to spend the night.
Yeah, and then mind you, they were just able to do whatever. No offense. No offense.
Yeah.
You guys
They were-
really
yeah, no
weren't
offense.
free.
They were just able to go do whatever, and meanwhile we were over here like, all right, I guess
There's a lot of
You
go
guys-
do this, go do this.
Yeah, you guys can come over here.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So don't worry about it. You guys go have fun. We'll take care of it.
Don't worry about it, sweetheart.
I know.
And I do remember when Alex started coming around, the being the parents. I remember hearing my mom talking about how, Jasmine's hanging out with a boy now, and being very hesitant about that. Very hesitant about men around their girls in general.
I know every time I used to have the guy friend come over, they would just be like, keep the door open. And I'd be like, okay, it's going to be loud from us telling jokes. And I'm like, we're going to be over here talking shit to each other.
Aw.
I do want to pass this back in because
Are we
Alright,
good?
Jamie, you got me.
Yeah, Jamie.
Do you have anything, Jamie?
Oh no, I was just about to start drawing actually.
She thought
There
it
will
was
be
like
a self-portrait at the end of this
Oh.
video.